Thursday, October 1st, let's talk about expectations. So I had somebody that I was talking to, and they are going to be parents, and the question kind of came up. What should we expect? What should we do? How do we prepare? And I think the question was, how do they prepare long term? I think my only real world advice would be expect the unexpected. Almost 20 years ago, Jennifer and I were not yet parents, but we had expectations. Once we got 3 children deep, we quickly realized that every single one of our children was different. Every one of them was going to have different needs. Every one of them would have different talents, and our expectations for them were going to have to change from time to time. When it comes to managing expectations, one of the verses that has been on our refrigerator for many, many years is Philippians 4:6. Simply says this: "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God." Doesn't that sound like great advice? Slowly sips his coffee. Don't be anxious about anything. Pray. Let your requests be made known to God. What kind of things did we not expect? Well, 2 of our 3 children had braces, 1 had scoliosis, and 1 of the 3 had multiple emergency room visits, while the other 2 did not. These are things we did not expect. But beyond their physical needs, their emotional needs were something we also didn't really anticipate. And even if we did, reality says that those things are also fluctuating and changing. And all of this made me think about the book of Job, Job's story in the Old Testament. I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you the story. It's a decent sized book, but you can still read it in a day if you want to read the story of Job. But essentially, Job had stuff and loved God. Everything that Job had was taken away from him, and his life wasn't looking all of that stellar. He had some friends that he was having conversations with, and they were speaking into his life, but not necessarily always the right things, so to speak. And then the book comes to a final conclusion. The verses I want to focus on are starting in Job chapter 22, verses 22 through 28. And this is one of Job's friends that it sounds like he's got some good advice. Job 22:22. "Submit to God and be at peace with him. In this way, prosperity will come to you. Accept instruction from his mouth and lay up his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you'll be restored. If you remove wickedness from your tent and assign your nuggets to the dust, your gold of Ophir to the rocks in the ravines, then the Almighty will be your gold, the choicest of silver for you. Surely then you will find delight in the Almighty and will lift up your face to God. You will pray to him and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows. What you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways." That last verse, what you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. That almost sounds like really stellar advice. But what we find is Job didn't do anything really to cause his problems. And in Job's repentance later on in chapter 42, we see Job being restored, and we see God actually calling out his friends for the bad advice. So what does this actually mean for us in managing our expectations, personally and for our kids? Expect the unexpected. Understand that God is in control. And while it's never bad to plan, it always is bad to worry. So when Philippians says, don't be anxious about anything, I think that actually means don't be anxious about anything. Trust that God is in control and that he is going to use every situation. It could be a physical setback for you or your children that also causes a financial setback. God uses that. But somehow this is tied to our prayer life and our ability to be thankful. Because there again, in that verse that we read in Philippians, with thanksgiving, like a thankful spirit in our heart. Now, as we get into fall, this is October 1st. I love fall. I love the countdown to the Christmas season. It really does make me think more about being thankful. So if you don't have children yet, but you're expecting a child, expect the unexpected, embrace that, and know that God is going to use that child to even transform your life further than you can imagine right now. And it's going to happen fast. Enjoy every moment. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. We love you guys. We'll see you back here next week.